Hello and all, welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. This one we're talking Ilia Topuria and Ilia's challenge to Canelo Alvarez. Could this fight possibly happen? And what do we as MMA fans think about Ilia venturing out into the boxing realm? We're going to talk about that. Before getting started, make sure to like and subscribe so we can get our community to 1,000 subscribers. Much appreciated. Ilia Topuria, for the past year and a half, ever since defeating Alexander Volkanovski, it must be said, I'm pretty sure that his fans were aware of him prior to that. But after defeating Volkanovski the way he did, knocking out the former featherweight champion, that is, and taking away his title. And then he comes and knocks out Max Holloway. Max has never been knocked out before. He was arguably considered one of the best, if not the best, boxer in the UFC. It's actually said many times by Max Holloway. Matter of fact, I believe it was the Cater fight. Was it the Cater fight where it was just tremendous technique from Max Holloway? That was the time where we did not have crowds in those arenas or small arenas, whatever it may be, a couple years back. And I remember it was he was looking towards the commentators and he said, "I am the best boxer in the UFC." It's just still that moment exists. And then Ilia comes and knocks the guy out. And in all honesty, if you focus on Ilia's performance against Max Holloway, he could have used different weapons as well. Obviously, Ilia was introduced to the UFC as a wrestler, heavy wrestling background fighter. But his boxing technique and the way he shells himself up is really second to none. And power is just devastating. I mean, he put out a Max Holloway. Max was not completely out. That has to be said. But he was on his behind, with no disrespect to Max Holloway here. I love Max, love Ilia as well, love the game, but effectively it was a finish, something that's never been done before to Max Holloway. Now, that being said, usually, we've talked about this before, I think as a community are opposed to seeing MMA fighters venture out into the boxing realm. We like to see the opposite take place more often. Now, that being said, I was against Tyron Woodley going in there. I was against Nate Diaz going in there, against Jake Paul. Both guys went in there against Jake Paul, lost terribly. I was against Anderson Silva going against Jake Paul, and Anderson had some decent performances in the boxing, but generally speaking, it does not go well for MMA fighters going into boxing. Other way around, it would be a horror show for the boxer. Now, when we talk about Ilia, I am willing to make an exception, because the guy actually has phenomenal skills. Now, can he keep up with the Canelo Alvarez? Canelo is perhaps, I want to say, Gervonta Davis, Canelo Alvarez, Alexander Usyk, and obviously Dubois. The way he finished, Anthony Joshua. Also, Terence Crawford. Those are like the top five for me right now. I'm not sure if let's see. Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, Gervonta Davis, Alexander Usyk, and Dubois. Right now, those guys are top five in the world. And I think Canelo is probably pound for pound best boxer on the planet. I don't think many people can actually argue this fact. Canelo realistically hasn't lost anything since Floyd Mayweather. If I'm not mistaken, the last loss for Canelo was Floyd. I could be wrong. He did have the shady Gennady Golovkin first fight decision. I believe that was a draw. It was a very shady decision. But nonetheless, Canelo Alvarez is pound for pound greatest boxer on the planet. Now, these two are very similar stature-wise. Matter of fact, they fight in similar weight classes. And in all honesty, if Canelo's willing to take part in this would be a mega fight, right? This could take place somewhere, perhaps Vegas, Maybe Santiago Bernabeu in the home of Real Madrid in Madrid, Spain. That would be a pleasure for, I believe, Spanish fans in the Ilia Topuria. And it would be a treat. If this fight actually happened, I would be 100% behind it. Now, I'm not saying that Ilia actually has a chance of defeating Canelo Alvarez. That's, that's kind of asking a lot of Ilia, with no disrespect to the featherweight champion here. But I think it's going to be somewhat of a competitive fight, unlike other MMA fighters entering that realm. If you made it this far, appreciate it for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments and subscribe for more.